Hello, welcome. We have such a treat for you this afternoon. We're going to be talking, actually, it's still morning, I think, technically, depending on where you are in the world, but we're going to be talking about getting business from scratch, getting orders when maybe you don't have events on the book, when there's nothing scheduled, making your business work anyway. And this is such an important topic because there's a misperception in our business specifically that if you don't have if you don't have parties on the books, you don't have business. In fact, we used to actually say that if you don't have a full calendar, you don't have a business. And truthfully, that's not true anymore. There's so many incredible reasons that you might want to do events and book parties, and we might touch on that a little bit, and we touch on that all over the place, and you can leverage your time. However, there are other ways to do this business, and if you find yourself in a position where your calendar falls apart, or maybe you never got it together, or maybe you just are choosing to work your business a different way, you have options. So our guest speaker today is a pro at this. We have Miss Heather Fisher, who is a master of rustling up business from scratch. She's going to share with us how she got over 50 orders last month with nothing on the books. I don't know if that was by choice or if that's just how things shook out. We'll ask her about that. But she is a master at rustling up business from scratch. So I'm so excited to introduce her. She is a busy mom of two up in the northern suburbs of the Twin Cities. She lives kind of in the middle of nowhere, she says. And she also volunteers for everything. She always has millions of things going on. So if you think you're too busy to do this, talk to Heather because she's very good at making this work around her schedule. So I'm going to turn it over to Heather. If you can tell us a little bit about yourself, Heather, and then we're going to dig into the nuts and bolts of how you did this.
Sure. Yes. Hello, everyone. As Jana said, I'm Heather Fisher, and I'm happy to be here and share with you today. A little bit about me beyond what Jana shared is, yes, I'm a mom of two, and that's probably my favorite title is mom, but I'm also a wife, and I like to volunteer. I'm a part of lots of different boards and groups, and I just like giving my time for good causes. And so you'll find me in a lot of different areas or my hands in a lot of different things. I'm currently an advanced director looking at senior director very soon, which I'm excited about. I live in Stanchfield, Minnesota, kind of Egypt, far, far, far away from everything. And then I'm currently on President's Club, if that relates to a lot of you. I have about 34 girls on my team currently in all lines. I'm really excited to share with you today.
So can you tell us a little bit about your business last month? You had over 50 orders that were not connected to events, that were not connected with parties. How did you do that? Where did those come from? Tell us the backstory on that.
Sure. So most of my outside, I call them outside orders or orders from scratch. And that means orders that don't come from a party, either online or in home. And honestly, that is how majority of my business has been since last year during COVID, since March of 2020. And that's because I came into 2020 thinking I was going to do in-home parties, and I had a lot on my schedule from January up until March, and then COVID hit, and then I had to go back to my online where I was pretty comfortable. And then I've been doing mostly scratch orders since. And so last month I like to provide, sorry, English is hard, a variety of different sales or purchase opportunities for my clientele. And what I mean by that is last month, majority of my scratch orders came from a message that I sent to a lot of women just in my VIP group. That doesn't include my friends list. I have 3,000 plus friends on Facebook, but I only have about 1,050 in my VIP group, and I only message about 65 women. And I had a goal in mind. I wanted to pay for my son Bennett's preschool, which was $750, and I wanted to pay for it in cash. And so I literally messaged probably 65, a little bit more after that, because I wanted to make sure I had enough. So probably, let's say 100 women. And I just shared with them that I was reaching out to a select few women, and I was on a mission to pay for my son's preschool, and I was offering everybody 20% off. And again, I was only selecting a few. So I made it kind of seem very like private and selective. It really wasn't. I kind of just went through everybody's name, and it was either they've purchased from me recently and I just wanted to share an awesome discount with them, or if they haven't shopped in a while, I changed my verbiage up a little bit. And I said it's for those who have either not shopped for a while, or I've even touched base with some people who have never shopped, and I just want them to know that I appreciate them being in my group. And here's a little discount for never shopping with me. And I hope we can find something that you would like. And so that was majority, but I do provide a variety if you want to hear the other ones.
Yeah, definitely. So basically, what you weren't doing necessarily is just putting up a post on social media and hoping people are going to come
Sure. I think
join the
everybody
league.
does that. I call that passive versus aggressive. Anybody can post something on their, social media, their VIP group, but that's very passive. As we know, Facebook algorithms aren't really for us much anymore, especially in the business that we're in. And it's hard. And so when we post something, we could go days without anybody seeing it. And that's not what I want. And so when I say passive, that's a passive act, just posting and letting it be, and then being disappointed that nobody saw it. An aggressive act is getting out there and sharing with people who you think, or even if you're like, I don't even know, just message them, because what's the worst that can happen? It's no if you don't message them. And if it's no after, whatever, you're not out anything. And so you're just being aggressive in your action and messaging people um, this opportunity that you have to share. And that's a lot of what I do. But I do post in my VIP group still. So, like
Oh,
a back to school live sale, I do at least 2 live sales in my VIP group a month. So I did like a back to school one. And that one's fun. It has like post-it notes included, and I'll be sure to share all the details on how that works. And then I corporate offers a bunch of weekend sales. And so I always make sure that I'm posting those in my VIP group and sharing with people. And then the app now makes it super easy to send those out to people who I think would enjoy it via text or Facebook message. And then surprise grab bags are always good. People love a good surprise. Pay your age bags. And then we also had some great products that came out last month. And so product testers too. And so we had the Adventure and brain boost and testosterone boost. All of those were also part of my August scratch orders too.
wow, awesome. So a lot of different strategies, and Heather's saying doing passive versus doing aggressive. I would actually say assertive because I think aggressive is not like I'm going to come after and get your order. Being assertive, or there's so many different ways to talk about this. Doing passive versus doing marketing, which is putting stuff out there and hoping that someone sees it, which is important, and then doing prospecting, which is actually reaching out to people. And you have to have a combination of both. Where a lot of people in this business get disappointed is they do the marketing part of it and they never do the other side of it. They never do all the magic, which is what happens in the direct messenger. And so I always love talking to Heather because she is absolutely out there connecting with people. I'm going on a little divergent path, Heather, just warning you, because there are people watching right now that are like, okay, Heather, that sounds great. You have 3,000 Facebook friends. You have 1,000 people in your VIP. I don't have any of that. I don't have any friends or family that want to shop with me. I haven't built up my client base. I literally am starting from scratch. And so if you were starting from literal scratch and didn't have the network that you've built up, could you do it? First of all, is my first question. Do you think you could do it?
Absolutely. Yeah. We're all starting at ground zero here. I did, you did. So that's the joy of this business, is that things are going to come into our lives and are going to bring us back to ground zero. We're going to have to start over. It's new things. Like right now, my daughter's in school full time. I'm trying to balance a whole brand new routine. I'm starting over, and sure, I might have that clientele, but it's basically about who you're willing to get to know. Where are you going to put yourself? School starting, who are you connecting with? Those parents, are you, vendor events are coming back. So just put yourself out there, get yourself into those little niches, be willing to meet people. Do you have some pure romance swag that you're wearing out and about now that things are opening up? Get conversations starting. Are you wearing your name tag upside down? And people always comment about that because it's upside down. So then that kind of is like an icebreaker. And so I think for sure, I think everyone just needs to know that we all started at ground zero and it's possible. And you just have to make sure you do those assertive actions on messaging people and letting them know. Because if you don't ever put it on like Facebook that you are you have your own business now, nobody's going to know. And so people just expect like, oh, I'm going to post on Facebook and everybody's going to know. And then everybody's going to shop for me. It's just a very passive thing. And I can go on lots of people's Facebook and then I never know that they work with Pure Romance. And so just make sure you're getting yourself out there. Your mouth is always running about what you're doing, what you're offering. Um, be willing to get outside of your little circle that you do. Some of these people I've never met in my life, and I feel like some of them are my best friends, and I've never met them a day in my life, and I don't even use most of my family or friends anymore. So I always say it's not about who you know currently, but who you're willing to get to know. And I'm sure a lot of people have heard that from your mouth as well.
That's so true. That's so true. And just a little side note, we have some giveaways happening right now in our Empower group. I know we're streaming in there as well. And a lot of our team members are participating in that, where we're giving away a lot of prizes. And it's so interesting because a lot of people who filled out the prize entry form say they don't have a brand partner, but they put your name as the person who invited them, not you, Heather, specifically, but the consultant, the brand partner's name as the person who invited them. They're like, I don't have a brand partner. Why are they, do they not understand that you actually are doing this? So that's important. We always get them back to you, by the way. If they say they don't have a brand partner, but a brand partner invited them, we're always going to make sure we get them back to the right person. But I always think that's so interesting because I'm like, why are they saying that? So just a note to our brand partners watching, make sure that your mouth is open about what you're doing. And Heather I heard some little tidbits in there. So of ways that you can expand your network. So vendor events being one of them. What is some other advice, Heather, for someone who literally is starting from scratch? Do you have like, what would your plan of action be? What would you do first if you're like, I need to build this thing and I literally don't have the network, or I don't think I have the network to start with? What would you do?
Sure. Yeah. So I would literally take a list of who do you know type of people, and I would go through and say like 5 people from work, 5 people from soccer from my child, 5 people. So take little groups of people who you do and you do have a network with and write those down. When you have them on paper, it's much less intimidating. So just take it in steps. And then also create a VIP group. Start funneling people in there. It's about adding people to your funnel constantly. We are in a business where we have consumables, so it's easy to keep people around the fire, but you want to make sure that you always have new people coming in. So just making sure that you're starting with however small your little circle is and letting them know that you are a consultant, you're starting this journey, maybe do a little tease and let them know like you started this crazy fun thing and do they want to hear more. Just start announcing it slowly and then obviously create this private group where all of these fun things are happening. Allow people to join that and then start letting people know slowly. Start booking in-home or online parties, or start doing these fun things that I shared with you about product testers. Everyone likes a good testing of products. And so I think just slow and steady and follow the process. We have a process for you and it's super easy. It's on our page. We're here to walk you through everything. Your brand partner is here to walk you through everything. It's really easy, harmless. Again, we all start at ground zero. You should have no concerns about that.
And we mentioned this during Brittany's session too, but we do have an endless leads training that literally walks you through how to expand your leads list. You know more people than you think you do. And if you don't, then we're going to help you walk through how to do that. And we'll link that up here again if you haven't seen it. So I know there probably are going to be some additional questions and we want to keep this pretty tight. So if you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. We'll make sure that give Heather some more work to do to come back and answer those after the session. So feel free to ask your questions. I did have another question for Heather though, in terms of a typical workday, since you again have little ones at home, your husband is in law enforcement, and so yeah, odd hours working. What does a typical workday look like for you in terms of the activities that you do to build your business?
Sure. So, like I mentioned earlier, things are kind of switching up a little bit. The routine that worked for us is kind of switching up a little bit with kids in school now. And so, I'm really utilizing that time where we are napping or we are independently playing, where my husband is home and he's awake, and they can have quality time with him. And then if you aren't familiar with Megan Brass, you should. She follows this weekly rhythm register by Darren Hardy. I actually just printed mine out, and you fill it out and you make tasks and then you check them off every day. And so I'm going to start implementing this and making it a power hour. If I can get all of my um, tasks done within an hour, I have the rest of the day to do whatever I'd like. So just staying on top of my organization, um, and then making sure I'm allowing time for my family as well in there. And so I definitely highly recommend the weekly rhythm register. Otherwise, a calendar and just making sure that you are creating office hours. Office hours are important. And so I only work a certain amount of time every day. And then I'm able to set my phone down and spend that quality time with my family. Like I have a party tonight. And so after this, I'm done working. And then I'll be able to spend time with my family, pick up my daughter, and then I go to work again tonight. And so right now, it's a little hectic in finding that routine again. But with those few tips, I'm going to take them personally too. I think that would, those will help me make sure I do these every single day.
I love it. And I think we need to get Megan Brasson to do another session. Maybe that's our next Q&A is this weekly weather register because it's such a great tool to help you stay focused. So what I heard from Heather, let me know if I missed something, Heather, but what I heard from you in terms of getting orders from scratch, basically you set a goal. You had a goal that you wanted to pay for at Benny's preschool. And so you set this goal, you made a list of people to do outreach to, you literally reached out to them, letting them know that you had this goal and asking what they needed. And that's where these orders from scratch came from. But you also did things like mystery bags and some fun marketing posts and other different things utilizing your VIP group, which you've built up over time. And then in terms of starting from scratch, having an open mouth and making sure that you are taking the time to do your who do you know list, looking for opportunities to connect with people, maybe with things that you're already interested in, plugging into those. And did I get that? Did I summarize that?
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
wrote too is always have a goal. Like if you don't have anything else that you're searching for, people like to help you with your goals. And so obviously mine was child driven. I'm a mom, but it doesn't need to be. There's a lot of like non-moms in here. So pick a bill, like a goal. Like I'm just trying to hit my $1,000 goal for the month, whatever it may be. It might be 100, whatever it may be. People want to help you with that. So try to do it like goal oriented. Provide a variety because some people might not want the 20%, but they like the idea of pay your age. So always post a variety because then that way you're hitting every person and what they like and their love language. And yeah, I guess my only other tip that maybe I'll leave you with is make sure that you're posting in your VIP daily. Make sure it's a regular posting. I think when you are building that connection outside of just being salesy, nobody likes a salesy salesperson. They want to make sure that you're connecting with them on a personal level. And so a lot of my VIP posts are like motivational Monday, and it's like this funny motivation, or like talk about it Tuesday. I'm providing education about something sexual health. And so just making sure that you're posting other things besides sales things. Nobody just wants to be a number or a credit card swipe. And so make sure we're connecting with them on a personal level before we go and get the sale.
I love it. Heather, thank you so much for your time today. And we'll go ahead and link up the resources Heather talked about in terms of some of the strategies and posts that she did and some of the language that she used for outreach. If you have other questions, drop them below and we'll make sure that we answer those for you. And thank you so much, Heather, for always giving so much back to our All-Star team. She is such a superstar and has so much going on in her own life. And she always is there to give and build people up and is absolutely slaying it in the business. So show her some love. And I'm excited to celebrate you hitting President's Club again very soon. I see that you are super close to that. So that's exciting.
Yes.
Thanks, Heather.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Bye.